Accept my greetings, dear audience. So today we're here to demonstrate you the demo version of British parliamentary debate format. Plus, we would like to announce the first Lazarski Debate Tournament and the recruitment of participants. If you would like to become the best debater of our university and get a cup, you are welcome to join us. So the motion of today is, this house would prefer being atheist rather than being religious. Speakers were given 15 minutes to get prepared, and they will have 5 minutes to evaluate their speech and defend their side. And the judge of today is Mr. Bauzhan Januzakov. And let's get it started. So for the first constructive speech, I would like to invite the Prime Minister of Proposition side. You have 5 minutes to evaluate your speech. The first and last minutes are protected from asking questions. I wish you good luck.
Good morning, my name is Jakub and I will be supporting the atheist side. I would like to at the start define what atheism is and to show the separation between an atheist and an agnostic. Agnostic denies the existence of any god. I am not agnostic, I am atheist. I do not denounce the existence of any god. I do not, however, see that the religion is presented nowadays the way that it should be. I think that religion is an ancient tradition that has not evolved enough to fit our modern society. Religion comes from communities creating a common belief and moral system. It's ancient traditions. Religions nowadays, unfortunately, come with many stereotypes, which limit the communication between humans. In my opinion, religions should unite people and not separate them. For me, this is the biggest fault of being religious. When you meet someone that is religious, you assume something from them. You assume that they believe certain things, that they behave in certain ways and do certain things. However, that is not like that anymore. Another problem with religion is that with the increasing movement of liberalism, there are many religious situations that actually limit the freedom of people. Religion was created for the sole purpose of uniting God and the individual. However, there are situations where there is a middleman between this, and that is church. Church and different sanctuaries, where religion is showed in a specific way. Religion lacks personal interpretation, which is the most important factor in any religion. You should be able to interpret any religion the way you want. Religion follows a moral belief system, which is good. It sets a boundary for moralities, for different situations, and the behavioral patterns of people in those religions. However, personal interpretation is important, as it allows you to create a closer bond to a god and not have rules set up by other people that interfere with your personal connection with God. Religions also nowadays cause many conflicts, and they have in the past. A very famous 30 years war that started the whole movement of the movement in Europe, where kings could take control of their land, and those were the beginnings. Those were the beginnings of each state having their own rights and own religious rights. And previously to that, religion was the main cause of conflict. People would fight over which religion was better. However, this is not why it was created in the first place. You shouldn't have to interpret your religion and have to fight other people to show that your religion is better. Nowadays, this conflict has evolved even more. However, it is not only physical conflict such as war, but also it attacks people's personal preferences. For example, there are many situations where people from the LGBTQ communities believe in God, Jesus Christ, or any other gods, and they are denounced from this religion by the church, by the priest, by other people, telling them that they're not allowed to believe in this God, and they are not accepted in the church. There is something wrong with this. In my opinion, religion should be allowed for personal interpretation, and it should allow for the evolution of it. Religion now is very old-fashioned in the sense that it did not evolve with time. Humans evolve. And when we were back in tribal situations, and in tribes and these basic communities, there were different needs that we needed to have. We needed to have moral guidance. We needed to have ethics in those communities, which were presented by God and by religion. However, nowadays, we get those moralities, those different sorts of values from different places. Religion is a good idea, has a good idea to give you these situations. However, it limits more freedom than it gives to you. To conclude, I would like to also use this religion is used not only as a personal relationship with God, but also used by political instruments to stimulate some sort of behavior between people.
Thank you, dear speaker. And for the next constructive speech, I would like to invite the leader of opposition. You have 5 minutes to evaluate your speech. The first and last minutes are protected from asking questions. Asking questions are highly required.
Hello everyone, hope you can hear me well. And let me start by giving our arguments, and only right after that we'll be rebutting them. So let's start with our arguments. Religious people often take for granted all the benefits that come with such a practice, from a sturdy belief system to a tight-knit community. Let us now explain the benefits practicing a religion, because our opposition, the proposition side, we're talking about the religion. But when we were giving the motion, it was to talk about the religious people, not about religion. They were talking only about religion, but let me remind you the motion. The motion was why religious people are better than atheists. He didn't touch upon that, and which means that everything was out of topic. So he just lost 5 minutes. 5 minutes, got nowhere. But it's your problem over there. Interestingly, being a believer is great for your health. We rounded up 5 ways any kind of religion or spirituality has been shown to benefit your mind and body. The first one is a 1998 study found that religiously active older adults are 40% less likely to have high blood pressure than those who are less active. The researchers from Duke University Medical Center measured the blood pressure of almost 4,000 participants and surveyed them on their religious participation. And while the results were positive for spiritual people, the researchers couldn't figure out why. The second fact is that religious people report more happiness and score higher in terms of life satisfaction, and than non-believers. According to a 2010 study in the American Sociological Review, this is likely because regular church attendance leads to strong social bonds within congregations. In other words, believers tend to have more friends, and this is to rebut his argument, and I'm quoting, and let me quote Kuba right now. He said, religion, where is that? He said, religion limits communication between people. That's the quote from Kuba, and this is the fact which totally rebuts his argument about it. The third one, when people are suffering from advanced stage cancers, turning to religion to cope may actually prolong their lives, according to a 2009 study denied in a journal of the American Medical Association. The researchers interviewed 345 late-stage cancer patients and assessed their spirituality up through their death. Most of the patients, which is 88%, were religious, and their resilience showed during a treatment, and the rate of resurrection was 7.4% for those with a high level of religious coping, versus 1.8% among those with low levels. Also, cults beware. Those who attend religious services at least once a week may have a stronger immune system. The 1997 study, also from Duke University Medical Center, by the way, looked at 1 1,718 older adults and found that the highly spiritual participants were about half as likely as those who did not attend religious services to have high levels of interleukin-6, which is inflammatory protein in the immune system linked to certain cancers, autoimmune diseases, and some viral infections, which proves that religion plays a very important role in making people's life better, easier, and people get lots of benefits out of that, and those who are denied, and that is a fact. Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel about the Rohingya persecution going on in Myanmar?
How should I feel about it? What's the question exactly?
How do you feel about the religious persecution of the Rohingya people in
You know,
Myanmar?
there is always an exception in the rules, because look, the communist regime is the most atheist regime in the world, but look what your China is doing. The communist regime in China, all of them are atheists. What they're doing with Uyghurs, they are killing them to death. What your Stalin did, Stalin, atheist, the Soviet Union, the North Korea. You want me to talk about it? Come on. If I'm going to start talking about all these atheist rulers with communism, you're going to be killed to death, guys. Just come on. That's not where you should win us. There is no way you're going to win us if you'll be asking this kind of questions. Also, all right. Oh, thank you very much, everybody. It seems like my time is up. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your speech. And for the next constructive speech, I would like to invite the Deputy of Prime Minister. You have 5 minutes to evaluate your speech and defend your side. The first and last minutes are protected. And I'm going to remind you that point of information should be asked during 15 seconds.
Honorable judges, fellow debaters, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to begin by rebutting the opposition side's arguments. Firstly, the opposition discussed the benefits of religion for religious people in terms of health, in terms of making them happier. We do not disagree with that. In fact, that is true. Religious people benefit in several ways, as he has listed. However, the point of this argument is that the fact of the matter is religion causes separation within communities. As he so carefully or brilliantly listed, the Chinese Buddhists persecuting the Uyghurs in China. Again, he just contradicted himself, because this is religious persecution. In China, you would find that Muslims have been separated and put into camps. And the reason being, not now, thank you. The reason being for their religious beliefs. Therefore, he has contradicted himself from that statement. I'd like to move on to my fellow debaters' points and reinforce them. Firstly, he stated the stereotypes that comes with religion in terms of limitation of communication, and also liberalism in terms of religion restricting the ability of people to express themselves within countries like Poland, where you cannot get an abortion. Right, go ahead.
You were talking about the Chinese situation that I was talking about when I was addressing the argument, and you told me, and you just told that it is like the kind of religious battle. But if you didn't know, communist regime stands for atheism. Atheism is what the communist regime does.
Take a geography lesson, because Myanmar is not China.
I was talking about China. You told me about China.
I asked you about
Dear
Myanmar.
speakers, we cannot interrupt.
Right now, you said in China, I approved an Uyghur.
Again, I asked you about Myanmar and the persecution going on. Just for the audience information, in Myanmar, the Rohingyas, who are mostly... I do not appreciate you talking whilst I'm in my protected time. You should learn the rules of debates. Thank you very much. In Myanmar, as I was saying, in Myanmar, Rohingyas are being persecuted, and the reason being they are Muslims who have been there for generations now. And The simple fact of the matter, people, is that this persecution is due to the fact of their religion. And again, religion today helps, like he has listed, which we do not disagree with. But the fact of the matter is that around the world, Christians are fighting Muslims, Buddhists are fighting Muslims, Buddhists are fighting Christians. We are all fighting each other based off our religion. So my point for my argument, or the proposition's argument for today, in case of religion, is going to be the fact of restrictions imposed on individuals within religious communities. In the case of Poland, you can witness the government banning sexual education in high schools due to religious beliefs. In other religious sects, such as the 7 Days, you witness that they have rather peculiar approach to circular problems, where they do not braid their hair, they do not use electricity, all of which may seem mundane in hindsight. But the fact of the matter is that if you're not going to give an individual the ability to express themselves, then I believe religion within the contemporary world is flawed. Which links back to my team's point. We do not have anything against religion. We believe it is very helpful. In some cases, it may give morality to people, apart from the extremists, of course. However, religion within the contemporary world needs to be readjusted to fit today's problems, which I believe my team has clearly listed, and I believe the opposition team has failed to do so. To conclude, my team, or the proposition side, believes that in a world where conflict can arise from many issues, religion should not be one of them. It should unite people, not divide them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And for the next constructive speech, I would like to invite the deputy of the leader of opposition. You have 5 minutes to defend your speech. The first and last minutes are protected from asking questions. Questions should be asked during 15 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Dina, and I'm a religious. So, starting from the other team, I would like to rebut them. Mr. Kuba said that when from where religious came. All right. He said that I don't identify God existence, which means that he does believe in God existence. Therefore, you can and you should give a chance to yourself to accept that religious came from God. All right. So about the thing that the religion could causes a lot of conflicts between people, correct? Why not? I mean, I agree, but at some point, let's give it like another manner of thinking. So from my perspective, I think out of 100%, 2% could be about conflicts for religion. And I think the thing which deserve to fight for, that means this is important. That's why we are fighting for it. That's why we have to have it in our society. So, also, they mentioned that the... Go ahead, please.
Are you condoning violence in the name of your God?
Violence. What do you mean, please? What do you mean, violence? So God is telling us to do violence?
No identification.
So? I didn't get it. I'm sorry. So, the atheist team are looking for freedom. But, guys, freedom is already written in the holy books. It's like, who said that the holy books or the religion is against the freedom? Absolutely. It's completely telling... Go ahead.
You stated that 2% conflict is fine. Are you condoning violence in the name of your God?
Absolutely not, because in the holy books it's written, it's forbidden, hardly forbidden the kill and the violence. So also another thing I would like to rebut it, they said that it's like limited the freedom for people in the society. Guys, I think that the limits is the best thing in this society. So the institutions, the law, they are putting limits due to to even protect people of mess. So I think it's like something useful for us. Why we need to live in mess? Starting from my argument, we do believe as a religion that everything, every creation has a creator, and then we goes to the point that there is later. We goes to the point which is there is absolute power over us, can control everything over. So the religious, why it's important, what makes the religious house better than the atheist house, which is we do have molarity, we do accept that we want to be better, we want. Go ahead.
If limitations is good for us, is women being limited by abortion laws in Poland good?
Thank you. All right. Why it's forbidden? Because it's a soul. And we are against of kill people. Why we need to kill people? We are here in this life to have more people and give them peace and like have a developed countries and a developing planet. Why we have to kill people? Because you have a fault or mistake. So you're gonna kill people, like I got a kid, like I think it's not the kid fool to not see this word just because you had a mistake in your past. Religious or religion is putting the rules of life. It's helping parents of parent the kids. So why we are better? Because we are afraid of the punishment. The human beings, when they have afraid of something, they are avoiding anything which is literate. So we are afraid of the punishment. That's why we're avoiding anything which can be wrong or mistaken. That's why the institution is here. But the institution is based on the holy books. In each holy book, whatever you are following, which holy book you are following, still you are like having the principles or the basics from the holy books in the institutions. And of course, it's become like developing and developing in advance. Because the mentality of human are really limited. So, are really limited. That's why we need something to take the thoughts from, and we have to have basics and principles to think about our life, how it should be. So that's why in science, everything human can discover it's written already in the holy books. It's already explained everything in the life. So why the sciences, when they are proving something, you have to believe in and you have to go out anyway, it's written in the holy books. For example, the black hole, it was already mentioned in Quran, Surah Al-Takwir, page 586, chapter 16. So that was my answer. Oh my God.
Thank you so much, dear speakers. Due to the restrictions, and we were forced to cut the number of speakers, and instead of 8, we do have 4 today. So for the analysis of the speech from proposition side, I would like to invite any speaker. You will have 3 minutes to analyze the whole speech, the whole game. The stage is yours.
So I would just like to rebuttal all the points made by the opposition. Firstly, I would like to start off by saying that my 5 minutes was not a waste, because I'm just going to prove it to you right now. So you said that religious people are more athletic and exercise more than atheists. That's an odd claim to make. Because people can exercise no matter what religion they have and no matter how much they amount, but just their own will and how much effort they put into it. Has nothing to do with the religion. Secondly, I would like to say that I talked about stereotypes and not conflicts between, direct conflicts between some sort of religion that you mentioned. And you said that people that are dying in hospitals, they turn religious. Well, they turn religious out of fear, because their psychology leads them to religion. They think that starting to believe in a God in their last moments of death is going to somehow magically cure them. That's a claim that you made. Well, I'm just going to say why. Because they're out of fear. Dina, the second speaker from opposition side, said that it's a choice, that you need to give religion a chance. That's direct quotation from what Dina said. Well, I defined what an atheist is, and by choice, he does not choose to believe in a religion. That's his choice. So he shouldn't have to give it another chance also. You said that religion, if live in a mass, that's what you also said. Well, it has been proven in many books that living in a mass kills an idea of being unique, and kills the idea of being an entrepreneur. What actually drives our world right now. And you can see that many entrepreneurs actually are non-believers, such as Elon Musk, who is leading evolution in our society right now. Rules of life set by religion, quotation from the second speaker, afraid of punishment. So we're supposed to live in fear if we are not religious. We're supposed to live every day in fear that if we do something, that if we sin, we're gonna be punished. You said that human mentality is limited. I've never heard something like that in my life before, because we have imagination which is unlimited, and that allows us to create religion, that allows us to create different societies. Books say everything. Not everything is written in the books. They didn't prevent any of the catastrophes that they said were going to happen. No viruses. There are some specific situations, but it does not show everything, as you said. Those are my concluding points. Thank you.
And for the last analysis, I would like to invite the opposition side. You have 3 minutes. Take your time.
Thank you very much. Everything that the proposition side. Everything that came out of the mouth of the guys from the proposition side did not state anything for the favor of atheists, and there was no fact claiming that atheists are actually better than the religious people. There was no. You can watch the video one more time again. Zero arguments. Kuba just said that religious people do not have entrepreneurial skills. It is frequently he's breaking the rule. Why are you keeping silent if he breaks the rule? Double standards over here. It is frequently suggested that the religion, and particularly values associated with the religion, provide circumstances conducive to entrepreneurial actions. In particular, the work of Weber in 1930 is repeatedly cited in this line of reasoning. According to Weber, Protestant Christian values such as ambition, perseverance, and wealth accumulation serve as important motivators for the economic behavior of religious individuals, which proves that religious people have great entrepreneurial skills and have lots of ambitions in this point as well. I also would like to talk about they were talking about the violence that the religion creates. Let me put it this way. In this frame, what really scares me is not the violence that comes out of religion that they're falsely talking about. What really scares me is ignorance. Ignorance coming from their side, and ignorance is maybe one of the most dangerous things on earth. And by saying this, I don't mean to insult people, but to raise consciousness about the lack of knowledge most of the people have about other cultures and beliefs. What many still people do not realize is that terrorism does not have a religion, wars do not have a religion, anything does not have a religion. And all people who commit this kind of violent attacks, they are just hiding behind the mask of a religion. Those people are not believers, those people are not religious. If he's saying that he is a religious person by doing something wrong, by killing someone or whatever, he is not a religious person. Just bear that in mind if you didn't know that. Because it is enough to read the Quran, the Bible, to realize that Muslims, Christians, all believers are encouraged to peace, forgiveness, and equality. There are so many verses in the book encouraging the believers to be respectful towards others, generous with poor people, equal to women, and also to people who have faith in another religion. Thank you very much. It was my honor to be here.
Thank you so much, dear speakers. It was quite fascinating to observe the debates. So while our judge is gonna make a decision, I would like to ask you some questions. In debates, usually you are accidentally giving a side that maybe you are not on. Let's start from proposition side. You are defending an atheist. Were there any religious people, speakers, who actually had to, Can you please express us what was your challenges and how hard it was to defend it?
In my opinion, well, I grew up a religious person, still am, and the fact that I have to stand against religion as a whole, which has given me many benefits in my life, as the opposition side had stated, it proved difficult at times, but it wasn't difficult to see where religion falls short in our today's world. And aside from that, I hope my mom watching does not get pissed at me, because
Okay,
Right.
thank you so much. What about proposition side?
Yeah, let me confess, I'm an atheist myself, and it was quite problematic for me to be standing here and defending all this,
Wouldn't say so.
all these religious values. No, actually, I respect all religious people, and I think it should not be divided. People should not be divided if people are religious or atheists. It doesn't matter. We are all human beings, and I think we just gotta unite together. It doesn't matter what kind of religion we have, or we don't have religion. Doesn't really matter. But what I'm gonna say is that I think religious people are a bit more two-faced comparing to atheists, I think, and that is one of the points I think the proposition side didn't say, but I think they should have said it, because as Hans Christian Andersen, the Danish writer, said once, atheists do good things without expecting something in return from above. At the same time, believers do all the good things by just expecting something in return. I think that is how it is, but I respect all religions, and I love everybody. I love humankind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to remind that we are not propaganding any type of atheism or religion. We do respect all the life choices of any people. It was just a game to see how speaker can express and convince judges and audience. Plus, I would like to say that advantage of being on the opposite side, which you are not actually on, is you, maybe guys will admit, you in advance know the possible outcomes of their arguments, and you can make the pre-rebuttal. And thank you so much once more. I would like to invite our judge, Mr. Baujan Januzakov, to give us a feedback and to announce the best speaker for today. Let's greet him.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for this wonderful performance from both of the sides. It was amazing, fascinating, and guys, I think I have to admit that we just started from the very contentious topic, the topic that has been conflict for centuries to come. But you did well, guys. I really admired. If you just allow me to quickly go just a little one-sentence feedback for each one of your participation, which is limited by my perspective, but I try to be as impartial as possible. Kuba, you had the challenging task to speak first, which we have to admit is a challenge, but then you came back in the analysis and rebutted. You did much better. So it's about practice. Well done. I liked some of your statements. They were very brave about the way religion might limit the let's say rights of this or those groups, and you did great. You did great. Thank you. Yerlian, your performance was a fire. Thank you. It seems that you have some kind of a inclination for public speaking, and you should just develop this skill on and on. Godwin, the thing that I took from you, you keep so good under the pressure. It's admirable the way you are withstanding all the pressure from the opposite side. You had a very good argument, Dina, that I really think has been at least my food for thinking for some time already, the way religion limits in a constructive way. What are the constructive limits that we can take advantage of from the religion? And I think I wish you had more time to unpack this argument. Okay, now coming to the conclusions, I have to select the best player, and I think well, I would give this nomination to Yerlian Zhalhasov. I think you did really good. And everything just I said before relates to that. Well done. If you may, I may shake your hand. So
Applause.
and if it comes to the team that wins, I would give my preference to the that's a proposition team. Yes, correct. I have to underline that it doesn't in any way reflect my personal let's say position regarding religion. I'm not trying to promote being religious or atheist, but I'm just trying to assess the performance of both group in the most objective way as I can. Well done, guys. You were very cohesive. You were up to the point. You were doing great as a team, and I really enjoyed your performance. Thank you. That's it.
And thank you so much for staying with us, and we see you soon.
See you soon.